We have a group of 12 ladies on the team. We serve about 100 clients a month. So really grateful to like I said, presenting is not my thing, but I will do my best with you all, and hopefully you'll get a little bit out of this. And then just a little bit of my heart behind this type of business education is also like, I want you to walk away with something that is. So as we're going, we can please ask questions. You ask me questions about your business specific. I know a lot about social, but I've also got my social media director, Ashley, here with me. She knows a lot more than I do. And again, our hope is to give you some kind of helpful knowledge that will really help your business. Please feel free to raise your hand and interrupt. Keep this. So I will start the quiz. Everyone is.
Sweet my heart.
I've never done this before, so. First time for everyone.
Ready?
So it should be a multiple. So what is the most used social media platform in the world?
Oh, I'm gonna change mine. Yeah, I just thought the same thing. I didn't look at all the options. No. Oh.
Oh, and the answer is. Facebook.
Oh. Definitely thought it was maybe the other ones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does make sense. Grandma ain't
Grandma.
TikToking.
Good job, Marissa, with the.
You get 4, okay, you get 4. Sorry,
Love it.
so you answered the.
That I'm like.
Okay, so which age group uses Instagram the most?
Might have done in a flash. Oh. That's right.
Oh.
So it is 18 to 24.
Hmm. That was my first guess.
Marissa, you're killing it.
Thank you. Go. Woo woo. I'm totally guessing.
Okay. Which of these content types is the highest engagement across most platforms? Social platforms. What is the highest engagement? A video, a single image, links to blogs, landing pages, or multiple images and a character? It is video. You guys are. Okay. True or false? Posting more frequently on social media always guarantees higher. It is false. Right. Next question. Which company owns both Facebook and Instagram? Meta, Apple. Okay, you guys are killing it. Next question. Which platform is not primarily photo based? Facebook, Pinterest, Snapchat.
Oh. I think I picked the wrong one.
It's okay. You're clearly on the top.
The answer is Twitter
Okay.
or well, X. Okay. What is the average daily time spent using social media? 2 hours and 20 minutes, 1 hour and 40 minutes, 3 hours and 10 minutes. Daily use. And the answer is 2 hours and 20 minutes.
I picked my face one.
What size is an Instagram reel? Is it a 1:1 ratio, a 4:5 ratio, a 9:16 ratio, or the size of an Instagram reel?
We'll do reels again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It is a 9:16 ratio.
Huh.
Okay, what is the most opened app for all social media platforms?
Hmm.
The most opened app, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube? The answer is YouTube.
Makes sense. You don't have to have an account.
Okay, so this is an open-ended question. What platforms are you currently using? If you can just shout those out or tell me, you can answer on the platform. And I do consider YouTube as a social media platform. It has become, so sorry if that was not clear. Almost everyone. Okay, so we have LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, this. This is helpful. So no Twitter users. That's sorry. And then what are you wanting to learn from this seminar? Again, open-ended. What is something that you'd like to learn? Or something that would be really valuable to you? Walking away from it. And if you have nothing to say, you can just be like, I'm just here for the party. Everyone submitted if they're going to.
Sound effects.
Okay, so a better social strategy, the latest trends, where to focus my time, increasing engagement, best use of my time with the social strategies. Platform is the best for daily, okay? Okay. Really good. Thank you for that. All right, so that's the end of the quiz. It looks like Melanie. I don't know.
Third place.
Oh, okay. So I'm like, how does this? Sorry. We can do this. All right, here we go.
Come from behind.
So, do I need to like turn it off or is it gonna? You can X out of it.
Oh, they all got 7 out of 9.
Okay, here we go. Okay. So knowing a little bit about what you're hopeful to learn today. I might skip a few things. I do have quite a bit of information, a lot of sizing and engagement ideas, content calendar ideas, lots of things. But again, I might kind of, if you see me skip a forward, it's not because the information isn't valuable. It just may not be relevant to what you guys are interested in seeing today. So a quick note that social media is an integral part of your small business success strategy, but it's rooted in communication. So I'll kind of stress a little bit on that today about how you're going to communicate and how you're going to be genuine and authentic with your posting as best you can. So why do you use social media? To build community, engage with current customers, reach new audiences, spread positivity, and enhance enhance outreach efforts. So I'm going to talk a little bit probably more on Facebook and Instagram, knowing that that was the majority of what you all are on. I do have slides on LinkedIn as well, because I think a lot of you, or I noticed in the signups that there were a few nonprofits. Does that sound right? Yeah, I see some. Okay, and some B2B type of businesses. So I did add a little bit there, as well as YouTube and Google Business Profile, which is something that a lot of people kind of forget about. So a lot of things that I can cover, but I'll just kind of go over the big basics. But Facebook and Instagram are going to be my biggest conversation pieces today. So Facebook is still too big to ignore. So if you're not on Facebook, I would highly recommend you even have a profile on there if you can be consistent with posting. The reason I say that it is the second nationally in the US, it is the second largest search platform. So people are on Facebook actively searching, even though you might not think that, it is very, very true. And if you have an active Facebook page that is optimized for the keywords within your industry, you are going to show up in a search engine. That helps with search engine optimization. So that helps with Google searches. Facebook is really important. One of the things I do want to touch on is there are a lot of users on Facebook. And there's a lot of ways to optimize, but to make sure, I'm going to digress a little bit, to make sure that your top keywords for your industry are in your About Us, in the description of your page, that your logo is within the actual profile image so that people can accurately understand exactly who is posting, because that's what people are going to see outside of just the name. And those top keywords, when I say top keywords, it may be that you're a nonprofit and you want people to know that you need volunteers and you're actively seeking funds, or those are things that you need to type into that description, as well as utilizing those in your posts. So the keywords that you would want to be known for when people are Googling you, that's what you need to be posting about. And that's what you need to be actively putting within your posting on all platforms. But 64% of Facebook users visit the site at least once a day. There's 3.3 billion reached by Facebook, the family of apps. Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, those are all under the Meta platform. And 93% of social media marketers use Facebook ads, making it the most popular advertised platform amongst marketers. So as we mentioned, 2 hours and 20 minutes a day is how much people are daily time spent on social media. 74% of Facebook users say they use the platform to find information about products and services, making it a super valuable tool for your business. If you're a nonprofit, it is probably one of the largest places you can find donors. I mean, multiple sources would say that, not just me. But we have worked with a few nonprofits, and they would say, I believe that they would say the same. But it is a great place to push products and services, and especially on the advertising side of that, which I will. 58% say that they bought something through social media platform in the last 6 months. How many of you can say that you bought something from a social media platform in the last 6 months? Oh yeah. No, that doesn't count. Yeah, my husband, I'll randomly see a package. I'm like, did you scrolling in the middle of the night again? Many Facebook users have higher education degrees. The platform has a strong presence among people with some college education or higher. Facebook is widely used across various income groups. but especially popular among those with higher household incomes. 98% of users access the platform via mobile devices. Note that that is very, very important. I don't know if any of you have looked at your website traffic and how many people come to your website via mobile, but it's probably 98% of users access it via mobile. So that's extremely high. So you have to make sure that you're optimized for mobile use. Not only on the website side, not only on the Facebook side of things, but I would say on the website side of things too. Image posting, image posts have the highest engagement. On average, Facebook users spend around 30 to 60 minutes per day on the platform. And while 56% of users are male, women engage in ads over 80% more. So best practices. If you are actively on Facebook right now and you're posting on a regular basis, these are some of the best practices that you can use for the platform. So be visual is one of those things. Posts that just have text or a landing page in it is not going to perform very well. It's not going to get the engagement. Don't use more than 20% text on an image. I want to stress that because I don't think that that's overly known. And a lot of people, I'm not sure if you've used Canva. I love the platform. We think it's wonderful. It's the quickest way to size things or like resize things. It's amazing. A lot of their templates use a lot of text. So be aware that 20% text is what Facebook is going to optimize. That's it. If there's more than that, they're actually going to limit your optimization of your post.
Me.
So 20% text, if you have, I think we had one in there.
Like, I mean, okay, this is a little bit.
This is
Like,
probably
you can think of an image, yeah, so keeping your text within 20%. Just keeping it
Yeah, so when we say, 20% of the image is covered in text. Sorry, I should be clear. So if you have an image and you have text on that image, 20% of that of the image should be covered up. That's it, of text. So if you have a ton of text on an image, you like this right here have tons of text on it. That image up here is probably only 20%, maybe 30% of the whole thing. That's actually going to limit your reach on Facebook.
So if you can't have more than, if you shouldn't have more than 20% of text on an image and you should have a 40 characters, how do you get your message across? Like, what are you then
How are you getting your message?
Yeah.
So trying to hook that user in the first, like a lot of it would be probably using video. So I'll stress video a little bit later, but the 20% text could be exactly what it is, right? Where donate, we need volunteers, special offer, that could be within the text, right? That can be within the image. The best thing that I would say is add a link to the actual post.
Okay, but when you add a link, sometimes if you have an image, I have the experience where Facebook will not keep it a hyperlink. That it will do like one or the, like, yeah, like when I upload photos and I try to add a link for people to click, like the link will not be a link.
When you add a link to Facebook, and press like that enter button, it should automatically link that entire post.
In your caption,
I'll have to mess around with it. Okay, yeah, like in my caption, I'm gonna put a link.
There's times too where if you
Kill the hyperlink.
it'll take, it won't use an image.
Are you putting it within the caption?
Uh-huh.
Put it into the image. I think that's the difference.
I mean, so when you put it like, so in the caption, if you put your link first, it'll link to the website and it'll take an image right from that website, right?
Yeah,
But if you put in another image, then
Yeah.
that link should still be there at the bottom. You're saying that it's not clickable.
it's not clickable. It'll just read.
Interesting.
And it could be user error, but I have that issue. It could be user error, so I'll mess around with it.
Creator Studio, like through the Meta Business Suite.
That's true. Do you use another scheduling platform?
No, I use Meta Business Suite. I'll mess around with it.
I was gonna say,
No, it's fine.
I'm happy to take a look.
I was
at
gonna say, we're happy to take
Yeah.
any of those issues though, like, I can assure you, we have seen the issue. Or like, we could even like give you some advisement on that. But yeah, I would say link out to somewhere on your website to make it user friendly so that someone can find out the information. Try to keep the image as engaging as possible. Have the image kind of speak for what you're trying to show. But yes, so 40 characters in that caption. This is what 40 characters looks like. That's it.
Wow.
That's how much you're supposed to put within the caption.
LOL.
Yeah.
40 characters is in the
It's
caption.
the actual caption,
Not on
not on it. I know. It's really hard, not a paragraph. And I would say the reason being is a lot of you, and this is just users. So from across, like you as a user, how often do you click see more? See the rest of the text that's actually in the caption?
All the time because I'm nosy.
Because you're nosy. Okay, well, yeah. But I would say the majority of people would say, no, I'm just gonna keep scrolling. So make sure that the top 40, that first line of whatever you put, you can put, I mean, okay, you can put more text in there. That first line is most important. And ideally, this is what Meta says. This is not what we say. This is actually what Meta says. They are going to optimize for less than, or well, for 40 characters or less, and they perform 80% more. They get 86% more engagement.
That's on
These are
Facebook.
from-
That's not on Instagram.
This is on Facebook. Sorry, this is on Facebook in particular.
So if you can think of an example, like an image, let's say I have a client that's a restaurant image and I'm using something of food. I can sit and say, oh, this is our daily special. This is what it costs us, what it does this, and it's way more than 50 characters. But if I put something simple like salad, that post is going to get way more engagement than say something that's got a lot of description, a lot of text. Whereas I can still link that out, especially if I'm putting an ad on it to like a daily special homepage on a website or something for people to actually learn more about that if you keep their attention within that first line. And if you do use more than 40, that's okay, but I would highly recommend also breaking it up a little bit more, like
Correct.
Kristen said, that is gonna go under that see more, but really breaking that up just looks better on the eye too visually.
Is that gonna be for video too? Like if I was to post a video or like a reel or whatever on Facebook, is that the same concept?
The other thing I'm going to mention as you're talking reels, hashtags are at a minimum on Facebook. Actually, engagement maximizes with one hashtag on Facebook. On Instagram, that's different. So each platform is different, which is really fun. And then I'm also going to talk about sizing and how sizing is all different on all of the platforms. So it's amazing. We love social media. No, but I will say that one of the things I want to stress as well is Meta in and of itself will tell you that too many updates is the #1 reason that people unfollow fan pages. So if you feel like you have to post more, like every single day, you might actually be decreasing your engagement and decreasing the amount of followers you have. So I'm gonna, we'll kind of stress a little bit more, but genuine posts, and I'm gonna just say it, quality over quantity. So if you could post consistently 3 times a week and have a strong engagement for those 3 posts per week, that's gonna do your page better than if you're posting every single day and you're getting less engagement every single day. Facebook and Instagram both care very deeply about engagement. Engagement is a like, a comment, a share, anything that's going to get some kind of engagement on the post. So if you get 5 comments on one post and then the next 5 posts don't get anything, you're actually going to like kind of mess with the Facebook algorithms. So if you can have as much consistency as possible, that's what's going to drive more results. I feel like that's a bummer for some of you. I see like the bummer in some of you.
You gotta think of 40 characters.
I know. Well, there you go. I mean, ChatGPT can be a really wonderful thing where you could put a paragraph in and say, make this 40 characters. I don't know. It may not give you the exact thing. I like those types of AI tools. Be very cautious, I will say, to make sure it sounds like you. So please tailor it to you. I've noticed recently where the person tells something isn't anything. So the other thing the other thing I'm going to talk about real quick is a boosted post or a feed ad. So I'm sure some of you have posted something on Facebook and you've seen the button that says boost. Okay. Probably some of you have used that. That is very different than some of the advertising that is going out on that platform. So there are newsfeed ads, which is on the back end, and there are boosted posts. So to be very clear, a boosted post is if I push out, this is a daily special and I want people to see this for one day, that I would boost because you want to get engagement on that particular post. It's going to live on your page and it's going to be on your page and you're boosting that to an audience that you choose within Meta. A feed ad is going to be a little different. So a lot of what we do for a lot of businesses is social media advertising. So that is going into the back end for the ads portion of Meta, where we're creating an ad that could be very similar to a post, but it's going to drive people away from Facebook. So a typical Facebook feed ad will drive you to sign up, to shop, to donate, to contact us, to book now. Feed ads actually have additional call to actions that you can put onto the ad. So anytime that you see some of the ads on, like as you're scrolling, some are maybe boosted posts because they're trying to grab engagement for that post, but I would say the majority of them are feed ads because they're trying to drive people away from Facebook.
And when you said like you're doing that in the back end, do you mean like in the Meta Studio is where you're doing that? Like you're making the feed ad as just a regular post and it's acting as an ad? Or are you saying you're doing something different?
It's the back end and ads manager. So if you go to somebody's page and you can actually see the post, then that's a boosted post. So it's more like the engagement or increase awareness of something. But if you're seeing a feed ad would not actually be a post on the page, it would be created completely separately on the back end.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And it has additional call to actions that you can add, you can create offers. You can do a lot more on the back end for the ads center within Meta. And that can cross post onto Instagram. Any questions on advertising? I know that we can probably get into the weeds on a lot of those things, but so I'll go to Instagram. I feel like Instagram has a lot more questions than Facebook. So if that's true, awesome, ask them. But over 2 billion people use Instagram. Around 32% of users are aged 18 to 24, and approximately 31%, 34%. So if you're trying to reach that 18 to 34, Instagram is truly one of the best places for you to be. Users between the ages of 16 and 24 rank Instagram higher than Facebook, TikTok, and any other social media platform. That's not from Meta. Like we've sourced a lot of these things. So like, please know. Photos with faces on Instagram perform almost 40% better than those without. I would bet that Facebook is similar to that. People like to see who they're talking to, what they're doing. They want to see the people that they're going to be around. Posts with tagged locations get 79% more engagement than those without tags. So for instance, if I'm here today and we post, hey, Kristen did a presentation at the McLean County Chamber of Commerce, tag this location on Instagram so that it gets more engagement. Your Instagram bio is very important. It should be clear and bold of who you are, who you can help, what you do. Another thing, again, I'm going to stress those top keywords for your industry. You may say, oh, we help people with marketing. No, we are a marketing agency helping local businesses with their marketing. And expanding on your keywords that you want to be known for. We help people with social media marketing and, in the terms that people are actually talking about your business.
Is there a better tool to find the keywords for your industry, or is ChatGPT like just as good? Or is there a certain one that does better?
Yeah, so ChatGPT is going to give you all of the keywords for the entire nation, probably the entire globe. So I wouldn't say that that's like 100% where I would go. So we use Google Keyword Planner, but you can also do Google Trends. And you could find out Google Trends. Keyword Suggest might be another one. I would probably even for you, are you yeah. I'm not saying it right, but even what people are asking you, like what's a frequently asked question, taking some of those keywords that people are probably asking you and making this within your bio. Like here's how I'm going to help. But yes, if you have no idea where to start, ChatGPT or like any of them. Instagram, be visual and storytelling. Use text and graphic posts sparingly. Again, I'm not going to say that it has to be the 20% rule on Instagram. It can probably have more text on it, but I would say it's still very visual. Instagram cares very much that you have visual elements and less text and graphics. Short and sweet captions. They don't have a minimum. They don't say that it has to be like 40 characters like Meta or like, excuse me, like Facebook, but short and sweet captions have their place, but captions can be a little bit longer. And they can have a little bit more detail in them. One quick note is avoid posting links in your Instagram post because people can't click out. You need to say link in bio and then put that link as a put multiple links within that bio for the link in bio. That's one of the most frustrating things. I'm sure you've been on Instagram and you're like, "Boy, I can't." So just making sure that you can't drive traffic away from Instagram in an actual caption. Again, I would encourage posting at least 3 times a week. Consistency is really important to Meta. Like as a suite, Facebook and Instagram, consistency is really important. And what I mean by that is if you can post 1 time a week and you know that you can do it and you can do it well and it's a quality post, do that. Don't try to do 5 posts or 7 posts or 10 posts in a week if they're not if they're not of value, if they're not quality, and if you can't do them right. Utilize all the features on Instagram. This goes for TikTok too. So I know I'll kind of mention TikTok later, but same thing. Use stickers, use their music, use trends, use polls. Instagram really, again, Meta wants you to use what they have created. They want you to use the templates for Reels. They want you to use the stickers. They want you to use the locations, the story highlights. They want you to use the stuff that they've put together. Engage to increase engagement. So if you want 10 comments, then utilize your Instagram and you go on to other businesses and you comment on theirs. So if you can comment to 20 other posts, it actually is going to optimize your page because your page is active. Instagram cares that you're active, that you're posting, and that you're engaging, not just getting engagement, that you're engaging. Use carousel posts so that people have to stay longer on your post. Yes.
Is the only way to do that still like just going into the app? Like there's no like desktop interface still for Instagram or?
Yeah. So if you want to utilize those features, you're gonna have to do it. There are ways on the on the back end where you can schedule certain things like stories and reels, and some people do. Personally, I do not because I cannot utilize the certain sequences that you have things. So that would be my recommendation.
You go on through desktop though, to Instagram and do the commenting.
Oh, and I do that straight through the app or through the
Commenting on post, you do that for. No, I meant on other people's, because it's saying comment on 20 other posts.
Oh, no, do that through the app. Yeah. Sorry that you were
The desktop.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't, yeah, you can do it, but you have to be in your actual Instagram account.
Yes. Yeah.
So hashtags on Instagram are important. They are relevant. 5 to 10 is ideal. And again, using high quality hashtags for your industry. This is something that I see, I would say a lot of businesses maybe do not incorrectly, but they'll make up their own hashtag. Well, that's not really going to do you any favors unless a lot of other people are using that same hashtag. So using trending hashtags for your industry is what to do better. For instance, I think Bloomington IL with Bloomington, Illinois. One of them performs better than another, like Bloomington, Illinois, it performs better than Bloomington IL, or Normal IL performs better than Normal, Illinois. So it's using the ones that actually are relevant and
Find that.
Oh, you can see that on Instagram. Like if you're actually on the app and you type in a hashtag, it'll tell you how many, yeah.
people hashtag it.
I think like she said, think keywords. That's hashtags.
All right, and then creating highlights within your Instagram bio, your Instagram app. Highlights would be those pillars of who you are, what you offer. Keep them short, clear, organized, eye-catching. Use cover images. Does everyone know what an Instagram highlight looks like? Give an example. So if you can see, these are highlights right here. These 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the bio, and these are the highlights. So
I'll kind of pull it up.
So you could pull up your phone, you could pull up ours, I mean, that'd be fine. But you can see those highlights are those right here, the little bubbles. So those need to be relevant to your business. You can use cover images to make sure that they're consistent. And then I would say update them regularly. One of the biggest things that drives me crazy as a user is I'll go and I'll look at those highlights and they're from like 3 years ago. Womp womp. So, and maybe they're still relevant, but the difference between stories and reels, stories is basically the Snapchat of Instagram, if you will. It's a 24-hour temporary post that are either pictures or stories. They're usually accompanied with text and other special features, effects. I think we read a stat the other day, and please don't quote me because I'm not sure. But it was like stories are getting 25% more play with people that are actively in stories. So if you're posting in your stories, you might actually get more engagement than you are getting on your posts because these are for people that are following you. People that are following you will see your stories, and you'll a lot of people are going through those on a regular basis. Reels, they were kind of created when TikTok became popular. So they're kind of the TikTok of Instagram, but Reels are short form videos formatted to offer format offered on Instagram and Facebook that enables you to brand and create engagement on your content. So there are templates that are created within Instagram. And we have seen that if you use a template that Instagram has created, you actually can get one. By just creating your own. Same with using their music, their trending audio. If it's available to you, some businesses, it's been very fun to see that some trending audio is available for one business that we manage and it's not available for another one. So yeah, we really enjoy some of those things. So as you know, like it can be an ever-changing, like all of these are ever-changing. I mean, I'll say all of this today and I mean, this was updated less than a month ago, and there may be things that change in 6 months. That's just the nature of how Meta and Facebook and Instagram, all of the social platforms work.
You have to be consistent with your stories and reels, like you need to be posting, or can it be a little bit more random? Or is there like a, don't do it 10 times a day, but do it, I don't know, is there?
Post in your stories as much as you want. That's what's kind of nice about them. You can have a lot more fun with them. For reels, I would recommend at least a reel a week if you were able to. Again, on that high quality stuff, you don't want to put something out just to put something out, kind of a thing. But a lot of, and I think it might be in here, but some of the most successful brands that are utilizing reels usually do about 2 to 3 a week. But if that's not doable right now, that's okay. Like again, really pushing that quality content that you're putting out versus the quantity at this point.
So Instagram stories, I think we have a slide on Instagram stories and Instagram reels. It's that 9 to 16 vertical aspect. So that's stories and that's reels. It's important to have a vertical video, like really important on Instagram. Sizing is very different across all the platforms, but a 9 by 16 vertical ratio. So when you're doing reels, think vertical, shoot vertical, do everything vertical, because that is how it's going to show up best. And that's also most platforms. That's for TikTok. It's the same ratio. So be authentic, show some behind the scenes in stories. People love to see very authentic and genuine stories. It doesn't have to be as pretty as what's on your page. It can be something that was kind of a flop. It can do a lot of things, but it can definitely be more genuine and authentic. Again, utilizing those features, polls, questions, quizzes, anything to get engagement on those stories is really important. Utilizing hashtags and location tags, even within your stories. Creating engaging visuals with text, colors, animation, posting consistently, using call to actions to try to get people to do something. And then reels. That's kind of a question from a lot of people. So if I need to blaze over some of the reels content information, I will happily do that. But it is something that is really popular on Instagram. I would highly encourage posting on reels more and more. 50% of reels accounts for 50% of the time spent. Reels account for 50% of the time spent on Instagram. People are actively looking at reels. 35%, over 35% of Instagram feed posts are reels. So again, they're optimizing for it. This is what Instagram cares about, is a reel. They care about video. So that just shows that, you know, we as business owners need to be kind of shifting our focus toward that. And then with over 2 billion shares per day, reels have rapidly become the fastest growing content format. So who can see your reels? Anyone on Instagram can see and share your reels. People may see your reels on places like Feeds, the Reel Finder, Reel Viewer, Explore tab, audio effects, hashtags. So one of the things to note, both with Reels and TikTok, is they can be widespread. So if you're trying to be a little bit more widespread, you could use larger hashtags for Reels, and you can be seen a lot of other places than just here.
Just for my own clarity, because I'm not sure I'm really identifying what a reel is that like, just like a video type post, like the things that I doom scroll through and watch all the people doing funny things?
Correct. Yes, that is a reel.
I love that you said funny things, because that is actually one of the biggest parts about Reels. That's one of the more higher engaging forms of content.
I go to Instagram.
So here's some Reels best practices. If you're like, hey, I don't even know where to start, I don't know what to do, how do I do a Reel? Again, creating vertical video is really important. It allows the video to take more screen space. So you can post, you know, a horizontal. It's just that as you're scrolling, you want the whole screen to be all about you. So that's what's most important about that vertical video is as they're scrolling, you're going to fill the entire screen. So that's why we're stressing that too. And then you can capture more attention. I'll talk about like safe zones, but I'll probably blaze through a little bit of that. Deliver top messages within the first 3 seconds. So this is not only for Instagram Reels, this is TikTok as well. This was exactly what they said, to hook audiences within 3 to 6 seconds. So that hook is really important. You'll probably notice that, like you'll even see that in trends on Instagram Reels, like it'll say like POV, like your point of view, and here's what it is. Or they'll ask a question to try to capture like, oh, well, I want to know what the answer to that question is. So 3 seconds later, I'm getting the answer to the question. But the more that you can have people actually watch the reel in full length, that's more engagement for Instagram too. So you're getting more engagement, which means that they're going to boost you higher in all of the feed as well. And then include people. Reels with human presence has 25% higher click-through rate than human engagement is really important. Okay, so the other thing that I would mention from a Reels perspective is, so it says build sound on for higher entertainment value. We do have some stats out there that say a lot of Instagram and Facebook users don't use sound. So sound cannot be, it's not that it's not important, it is, but Instagram Reels don't have as much higher as engagement as TikTok when it comes to sound. So it actually, there's a stat in here, but TikTok actually, I think it's like 80% of the users want sound on their video. I would say that's not the case for Instagram Reels. So not that they don't matter, but that's where those captions can be really, really important for both Instagram and TikTok. So either doing the auto-populating captions or actually adding captions to the video yourself. And then the most important ranking factor for Reels is engagement activity. Instagram looks at how users like, saved, reshared, commented. Again, they care about engagement. Utilizing those hooks to capture your audience's attention within the first 3 seconds, adding music, choosing great visuals, playing around with transitions, incorporating text, and then vertical video ads have a 48% lower cost per action with the considered safe zone. Is that right?
Yes, the safe zone, yeah.
I'll talk about that briefly. Let's see. Yeah, so I'll get to the safe zone here in just a second. I'm sorry. But use templates. So if you don't have video, this is another big deal. Is if you don't have video, if you're like, I don't have time to capture video. Okay, that's like that's not my job. I don't really care about video. You can use images and photos, but just use those real templates that are already created. Add transitions to them, add some fun music, and all of a sudden you've got a reel. So you don't always have to use a video. You can use a lot of those Reels templates and make the same concept. 50% of surveyed Instagram users prefer funny reels.
Hmm.
So other top responses, creative posts, informative posts, a did you know type of post, helpful hints, tips, tricks, relaxing posts. I don't know if you, but sometimes I'm scrolling Instagram and I need something to just calm me. So, inspirational posts. So really be thinking on those are the types of things, less sales and more hints, tips, tricks, informative, funny, which can kind of go to that personality, I guess. Wouldn't consider myself a very funny person, so I'm not going to be the person that goes on and is really goofy, but I might try to be more informative. And then I'm going to skip, sorry, I'm going to skip over. Okay. So a couple of things for sizing, and I'm just going to real brief go on this, but this is the new sizing for posting images. I know I see some of you taking pictures. Sorry, I don't want to get in your picture, but this is the size you should create all of your posts in. It's a 4:5 ratio. You'll see that in Canva. You'll see that like you can crop the image. The 3:4, the size people, what is that? The size people with the update. What is that? Help me.
So when you wanna post the 4:5, but then when you look at the actual grid on Instagram, it's gonna cut those edges down a little bit into more of a 3:4. So the important part to take from that is if you're adding text onto that graphic, you need to make sure you stay away from those edges, because on the grid, if you don't know what grid means, let me know. But if on the grid, it'll get cut back.
I have a picture of grid.
Oh, yeah.
I do have that. Right here.
Here we
Okay,
go.
so this is what it used to look like. It used to be a 1:1. You probably saw that. And then it changed in January to a 4:5. But like what she's saying here is this is longer than a 4:5. So if there's something on the edge here, it's going to be cut off. Yeah, like this one is probably.
That some people don't have the update, so some people are still seeing this square format, the square grid. So a lot of times what I will recommend is, even though we're building within that 4:5, you need to just be cognizant of that. Some people are still seeing it in the square, and some people may see some of your text get cut off if you don't really use that safe zone right there in the middle.
It's really fun,
really
isn't
fun.
it?
No.
It hurts.
Because this would make all of our lives a lot easier if that square grid would just go away at this point.
And then the sizing for stories is the 9:16. So I think there was a business seminar about Canva. One of the best things about Canva is you could create a 1:1 for Facebook. You could then resize it as a 4:5, but kind of thinking through that 3:4. And then you can resize it for a 9:16. All within boom, 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 boom. And then
Okay.
kind of keeping within those safe zones.
This is on our Instagram page.
Okay.
Yes, only if you have a paid account for Canva. I don't think you can resize on the free version.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm sorry. You do have to. have-
Paid is worth it.
So when you upload into, if you guys
I have
use
to
the
put
Meta,
now.
like Meta Suite to do this, you can edit a photo right on Meta too. When you upload it, like, so if you're using Meta Business Suite and the back end to schedule or to upload photos that way, you can hit that edit button and it'll give you the option of a 4:5, a 1:1, or some landscaping ones that I don't ever use
Yeah.
unless I'm using multiple images. So, but you can do that right on Meta. You do have that ability.
But if you're creating a graphic, that's where it's hard to create a graphic and then resize it within the meta.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that was what she was talking about on the safe zone.
Yeah. Okay.
Funny, I was gonna say, I know some of you are taking pictures of things. Also, I think some of this is on our Instagram page.
It is, and it will have it up on the website soon too.
Yeah.
But again, the biggest thing to take is just making sure that if you are using text and stuff on Reels, that you stay in that safe zone. I don't know if you've ever watched a Reel and it's got, like, the actual message is within that hook, within the text, and then it's covered up by the bottom part. You can't
Hate that.
see. Okay, there, thank you.
No, that's what we're mean.
This is exactly, me too.
Now I know why that happens.
Yeah, so if you're, it really, and I've actually just took a whole class on Reels through Meta, and the safe zone is one of those things that is actually, it's listed as one of the top 3 most important things to do in that Reel. So it's just ensuring, it just gives a better user experience for people. And so ensuring that text and everything stays in that safe zone is.
Okay, sorry, I'll skip through. So we talked about Reels, obviously. Video is very important for pretty much every social platform outside of Twitter or X. I still can't get
I
it.
still say Twitter.
Just like Facebook is not Meta to me, it's just a whole thing. So, but video is king on social media. 130, Facebook videos receive 135% more organic reach than an average photo. That's on Facebook. 85% of social media users watch video with the sound off. Again, that's Facebook and Instagram. Let me be, sorry, that says social media, but that's really just Facebook and Instagram. TikTok is a different story because it is kind of its own deal. 91% of users watch Instagram videos every week. 95% of a message is retained when viewers watch the video. So again, we're not just stressing video because it's what Facebook and Meta, like what they want. It's also how your customer and how the user retains that message better. A lot of people are visual people. So this is also a great way for you to get your message out there.
So would you suggest, since they're listening to the sound off, that if you are doing a video, that you have use the automated captions?
I would.
Also, I would edit those. They're not very good sometimes.
Yes,
but
use the
yeah.
automated captions. I agree. Make sure that they're, that you check them. And that also goes for YouTube. You can auto generate captions on YouTube as well for any of your YouTube videos. Just make sure you go back in and nothing is misspelled. Like, it drives me nuts, but it's also just like they're doing the best they can with an auto caption. Make sure that you go back in and you tweak those. And then there's a lot of, video tools out there, not just Canva, but I mean, CapCut is another good one that it'll auto generate captions, but actually with a bar around it or like the background. So, I mean, there's a lot of options out there for captions as well, but those are very important. Okay, so how many of you are on YouTube? Do you want me to go through some YouTube stuff? Okay. So I'll kind of blaze a little bit, but YouTube is the second most visited website on the internet. It is owned by Google. It is very important. If you're creating videos for Instagram, there is no reason why you can't just export that video and then add it to YouTube and optimize it. Please repurpose that video. YouTube is so important for search engine optimization. I care very deeply about digital stuff because that's more my realm of things. I'm talking about social today. That's more her thing. So I care very deeply about YouTube, Google, like lots of things. That's why I kind of stressed keywords, but YouTube is extremely important. It's the most opened app. It is very popular for men. If you are remotely trying to reach men, YouTube is by far a great place for you to be because they're going to engage more. They engage more on YouTube because they're on that platform more than they are on Facebook or Instagram. And again, if you can optimize those videos that you're already creating for other platforms and you can upload those to your YouTube channel and get those keywords on there, again, it's just one more way that you can have optimized search engine or SEO. It's free SEO. And backlinks are great. So YouTube is the largest advertising reach of any social platform with an advertising audience of 2.5 billion people. So again, it's a great place to put videos, trying to reach men. That's a great place too. And then just a couple of quick things, incorporate internet traffic heavy keywords. I know I said that, with titles and descriptions, put any call to action or URLs on the top of your video description. I think that's something that's missed on a lot of videos. They put the link for where they want people to go at the very bottom. Put those at the top, like put it right at the beginning, so people can click that right away. And then make sure that the thumbnail is appealing. YouTube's just going to auto-generate a thumbnail for you. Instagram, other places do the same thing, but make sure that that's relevant on YouTube and eye-catching. And then include a call to action. The other thing, I don't know if it's in here or not. No, the other thing I would mention is using hashtags on YouTube is also important. So if you have a short, the rule of thumb for a YouTube video is to put 3 hashtags in the title and up to 13 in the description. Put as many as you want, but you put 3 in the title and that's going to optimize your video. If it's a short, put hashtag shorts, make sure that that's one of those. And then make sure those hashtags are also within the description too. That's also how you're going to rank higher within the YouTube searches. And then here's a couple of sizes. Again, optimize your channel for mobile. That's hard with this banner size being so odd, and it's so tiny on mobile, but then it's like so big on desktop. So like a lot of the banners have to have like your logo or your image real small in the middle if you want that. But any questions on YouTube? I know I just quickly blazed through some of those. And then LinkedIn and B2B lead generation. I know a few of you mentioned that you're on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the top professional platform with over 1 billion users in lots of countries, regions. Over 67 million companies are on LinkedIn. 75% of those who recently changed jobs use LinkedIn to find new job opportunities. So if you have open jobs and open places or like if you're trying to gain people for new job opportunities, it's a great place to post those opportunities. Complete and optimize your company profile. Your business page is the digital storefront of your brand. So make sure it's fully optimized. It's on brand. It uses those top keywords. I'm going to stress it a little bit. If you need help with those keywords, shoot me an email after. You all have my my card. I will literally pull it. I have a keyword planner. I'll pull that for your industry very quick. Post high quality, engaging content and post consistently. Again, consistency is really key on a lot of these platforms. So if you're just kind of posting so often on LinkedIn, it's probably not going to gain followers for you. You're probably not going to be doing as much. But if you're actively engaging, you're attracting new followers, the consistency is really important.
Is there a balance between like your personal page on LinkedIn and like the business page? I feel like a lot of times you connect with people personally and less so at least I don't interact with the business pages as much as I do with people's personal profile.
Yeah, that's actually one of those things where I would actually encourage you from a personal side of things. If you're willing for your business to do that, you're going to get more followers for your personal than you are your business. I know that's counterintuitive to probably every other social platform, but it cares, like a lot of LinkedIn will be more of that personal interaction. Businesses are still gaining a lot of followers, don't get me wrong. But I would say if you're kind of posting consistently, if you have a blog on your website, if you're actively posting a blog, that's a great place to put it on LinkedIn. Blog posts, long form posts, video, that is really going to do well on LinkedIn. You can use that as more of a full, like Instagram and Facebook. This is like, I need to catch that attention as soon as possible. You have a lot more attention on LinkedIn. People are spending more time in each post. So you could put a lot more information in that. So from a business perspective, like from the company perspective, you could probably put a lot more content on there. Again, text hooks are important on all of these platforms. LinkedIn recommends using 2 to 5 relevant hashtags per post. Using more than that can make a post look a little more spammy, especially on LinkedIn. More of that professional platform. Yeah, I don't want to go too crazy, but the ideal length for a LinkedIn status is around 100 characters. The see more button cuts off messages over 140. But for long form content, it does allow 1,000 to 2,000 words, allows you to cover a topic thoroughly. So you can put a lot more into your LinkedIn posts. Then engage, again, engagement is going to be big, not only from your perspective. So your personal LinkedIn could be engaging with the company LinkedIn, and that's going to help the company. I know actually we have a client that their personal page is like way more popular than their business. But if they can kind of go back and forth, it shows a lot of engagement, and that has helped their business page. And then again, avoid too much text on that image. Okay, so sizing, again, sizing is different for LinkedIn as it is for everything else. But if you're creating a 1080 by 1080 for Facebook, use that for LinkedIn. That's going to be the best thing for your post. You can cross a lot of these things. It's just each platform really loves that they have their own special sizing because they're special. Okay, so TikTok. I think quite a few, you mentioned you're on TikTok, you have questions about that. So there's 1.5 billion monthly users. It's the 5th largest platform globally, but not nationally. So only 170 million for US monthly users are active. 80% of TikTok users say sound is vital to the TikTok experience. I think I said 80% earlier. It's 88%. So sound is important. And then 56% of TikTok users feel that storytelling is the most important thing on the platform. So here's just some best practices for TikTok, utilizing the TikTok creator platform or marketplace. They have a lot of those overlays. You can lean on a lot of what they offer within that creator marketplace. They have voiceovers, they have filters, stickers, questions, polls, and then one of the biggest things for TikTok, and after doing a lot of research on this, you want to feel as natural and authentic as possible on TikTok. People engage more on TikTok with a personality than they do just a video. So use trends, use memes, challenges on TikTok to make new content. Use their commercial library to use their song selection. Keeping up with trends. Go to that trends page and see what's getting views. A lot of that is very trend heavy on TikTok, a little less so. I mean, Instagram does have trends, don't get me wrong, but TikTok is like, this is the trend, everybody jumps on it. And then it trickles over to Instagram. So if you do it on TikTok, it normally will give it about a month and it'll be a trend on Instagram too. And then shoot content vertically, use high resolution footage. And then again, there's some safe spaces where make sure that those share buttons, I'd say in general, if you're doing vertical video, don't put text in the upper third or the lower third, put it right in the middle. That's where people want it. And then the top brands on TikTok have one main personality across all of the platform. These are stats directly from TikTok as well. Within the first 6 seconds, communicate the value of your video. That hook on TikTok is probably the most important out of all the platforms. So structure your videos to hook users. 41% of TikTok users say they're more likely to buy from a brand that lifts their spirit. TikTok itself will tell you it is the social media platform that spreads joy. I think that's like on their About Us page. They care very deeply that you are uplifting, that you're joyful, and that you're uplifting people with what you have on TikTok and not the other way around. So keep your audience intention through storytelling, videos showing the product on screen. So if you are selling a product, I don't know, how many of you here are actually selling a physical product? Okay. If you put those products on the screen, 65%, you have 65% more brand affinity and 25% upcall in recall of that. So you're like people that see the product on TikTok. So that would be one where if you're the personality of your TikTok, then you can be that personality, but then bring that product onto the screen so people can see it, show it, how it's being used. And the other thing I would say is then find other TikTok users that you could then collaborate with. It's really a big platform for collaboration.
I'm not on TikTok, but is that actually like a thing like for like, do they have more rules than like Instagram and places for like not hate speech and like uplifting content? And I feel like I used to work with social media and middle schoolers and we saw like so much hate on Instagram. So is TikTok actually better for that for kids and parents or?
Checking the temperature.
It's warm. No, no, sorry, I'm like about to take my jacket off.
I'm gonna open up this door too to
No, it's fine.
get you some.
Don't want you guys to be like dying. I'm sorry. I am trying to go fast. So it's hard because TikTok is more, there's a lot of stats out there that will say that TikTok for younger people is actually more addicting because of the way that their algorithms work. So I think I may have a stat in here about that, but I would say that it is meant to have more of a joy, more of an uplifting, and they do have a lot of standards. So I don't have all the details on that. I wouldn't say it's one better than the other. But I will note that TikTok does have algorithms that once you purchase something or once you are on one particular video, it has a lot more algorithms to try to hook you with the exact same type of content. So people tend to spend a little bit more time on TikTok. there's a little bit more of addictive, or like, I don't know, that's not the right phrase. I'm sorry, please forgive me. That's not the right word to use, but it is more, people tend to engage more. And then sizing. So I have a lot of sizing. If you guys need sizing guides on anything, I will gladly give those to you. Because each one does have something different. Again, TikTok, if you're doing a video, just search, do that vertical video, and that's really most important. These are all if you're going to build out your profile. If you're going to, if you don't have a TikTok and you want, how do I even start? This would be a good place to. And I think we got all of this sizing off of Hootsuite. So real easy to also Google that. So I'm going to skip over Twitter unless somebody is drastically interested. I'm just going to take a quick note on Google Business Profile. So a lot of people just believe that they have a profile and then they just can set it, forget it. It's up, it's on Google, it lives. I would not say that's true anymore. So why should you be regularly posting and active on that? Regular updates on Google Business Profile boost your SEO and online visibility. It will boost your map listing. Frequent posts, you can actually post on Google Business Profile. It's a little bit different sizing. I'm sorry, I don't have that in there. It's a little more vertical, but you can post a square on there as long as it's not a graphic. Again, repurpose that content, repurpose the content. Frequent posts like promotions, events, they show up on Google and they show that your profile is active. So again, Google really cares that you're actually putting new content out there for your business in general. That could be on your website, that could be on YouTube, but Google really cares that you're active on their platforms. So improving your profile's appearance, it will improve your profile's appearance in local searches with top keyword phrases. If you're putting those keywords with posts, the description, you can build out your products of what you offer. And I would even venture to say that a lot of people don't use the products how they used to, where it's like, this is the physical product you can purchase from me. You could say, we have social media marketing, we do media buying, we do this. These are the products we're offering as a business. So you can put your services in as your products and then link out to your website. And then adding relevant keywords is really important. Ranking. How? Highlighting your services within the service options, making sure that all of your services are on there, adding products, updating images regularly. That's, again, something you kind of forget about. Like, you're like, okay, I optimized it the one time, I put some images up there, and then I don't have to worry about that. Adding images is actually really important. Google wants to be active. And then there's another section of this that is questions and answers. Most of the time it shows up on mobile more so than desktop. And it depends on your, again, kind of a fickle thing. But most of the time it used to be like I was a user and I had a question about brand photography. So I would go onto the Google Business Profile, I would ask a question, and I would hope that Teresa would answer that question. Now businesses are using it as a frequently asked questions platform. So you can add all of your frequently asked questions that you have on your website into your Google Business Profile, which is also a wonderful way for ChatGPT and all of these AI tools to be crawling questions. You have the answer. So you can now have the answer to all of the questions that people are asking within their Google search. And responding to reviews is super important, not just the negative ones, the 5-star ones. And then one of the biggest things I would say is if someone says, hey, I did some brand photography, it was amazing. Teresa then responding back, hey, thank you so much for the 5-star review on your brand photography on a look, like adding the keywords even within the response. It's really important. Okay, so I'm not going to go into emoji use because I think some of you care probably about content calendars and that maybe. Okay, so why would you use a content calendar? To ensure that you're properly spaced out. Because you may be like, okay, this week I've got time, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to post all the time. And then the next week you're like, I'm crazy busy and I have not posted anything for 10 days. And now I'm not consistent, and now Facebook and Instagram hate me. But it ensures good content mix too. So it can ensure that you're not just all sales and you're not all just general posting. It helps with consistency. It regulates how much you're posting, and it can properly customize each of those platforms for the bigger picture. include days, channels, media within the content calendar. I have an example of one, just so you can kind of see how one of our team members actually uses a content calendar. Keep an eye on your analytics and adjust your strategy. So you can go into the back end of Meta, you can see insights, you can see when a post is engaged. I mean, you can see if something is actually working or not. And you can say, you know, this one I thought was going to be really great and it stunk. So when did I post it? Was it at 10 a.m. on a Thursday? Well, let's try 6 p.m. on a Thursday and see if this post does better then. Again, you can see where your natural organic engagement happens on the back end of Meta. So find when you're engaging the most. It might be Thursday at 8 p.m. And you're like, post your post then, because that's when your most organic is reached. And then you'll probably get more reach out of that post. So finding out not just when you want to post or when you think you want your people to see the post, look at the back end, see when you're actually naturally engaging and post that. Make sense? And then a social media strategy requires regular publishing and engaging with those followers. Again, just post and engage, ask people that have engaged with your post to like your page if they don't already. It's actually a function. And then engage back to other businesses. So this probably looks like a lot. Sorry for that. But I just did three different options here. Okay, so I did Instagram, Facebook, and an Instagram story. And this is just, and again, this is just to give you an example. If you're on 4 different platforms, you might want to have something a little bit more robust, or you might want to say, instead of having them color coded, just say all. It's going to post on all of them. But there's definitely a way to space things out. So you can see, like, I'm just going to say, okay, here's our monthly specials and an info post. And then I'm going to post those again in the story. Post those again in the story, plus Friday fun facts and other things. This would be a post on all of those places. And then I'm going to make sure those monthly specials come back in the story. So you can see kind of how we could, how you can use this as not just, I think I did April. So like, here's a weekend update. I'm going to push that weekend update in the story. I'm also going to post about it that same day. But maybe here's a general post, but then I'm going to tease the special that's about to launch on whatever day, you know, like, so making sure that you're also utilizing those stories that you can schedule out. You can schedule out a story. So you can also use that as teasers for different things. You can use those stories at any point. So note that that is not going to hurt you if you're posting more stories and then those posts consistent on the actual feed. Depends on type of.
I've heard before that when, like, let's look at the 22nd, for example, you have the new special launch and you have it on. Is it any better to, that wasn't the best one. Let's go to the did you know? Would it be better to put the did you know and for Instagram and Facebook on different days? Heard where it's not, so that way, like, my user isn't on Facebook and then they're on Instagram and they're like, oh, she said the same thing. Be spacing those out 2 different days. So if I missed her on one day, I'm getting her on another. Seen like bad results too.
A lot of times you're gonna have a different type of user on Facebook than you may have on Instagram. So just something to remember, a lot of it's on Facebook. There might be some people who are actively scrolling Facebook. It's also like the importance of putting that content in a feed, in a special, maybe in a or feed story, maybe in a reel, because you're gonna have different types of people. Maybe their thing is to or maybe it's to scroll through the reels, or maybe it's so it's just having it in all those different areas more so than focusing on spreading it out in all those. Yeah. Okay.
And then here's some strategy behind some of those content calendars. That 80% of the content should just inform, be funny, be you know, like be less salesy, and then 20% should be that content promoting. Actually promoting what you're doing. Now, again, this is more tailored toward Facebook, Instagram, even YouTube, like, but TikTok, it is a little bit of a different beast. You could definitely post a lot more product. TikTok. Again, who is your audience? So if you're posting a did you know on Facebook, maybe that did you know is a reel on Instagram, but maybe it's not a reel on Facebook. So again, knowing the audience, who you're trying to target, again, maybe it's a different image. Maybe the image is a younger image on Instagram versus what the image looks like on Facebook. So trying to even value who's on which platform, who's engaging the most, and then putting that type of media out. Now, I'm really big on just what's working, what's working, what's not. If you post the same thing over and over and over, and you're like, why is my engagement not working? It might be when you're posting. It might be the content you're posting. So switch it up. Check it. Like look at the back end. See when people are naturally engaging with you. Post then, or just see what kind of content. I mean, look at trends. Look at other reels. Try something different. I am really big on like even looking at your Google Analytics, just seeing how many people organically are coming from those platforms. Getting from that, are they doing anything? Yeah. So really track what's working and what's not, and then tailor your content. Adjust that strategy, and don't feel bad if something's not working. On a regular basis, we have what we think, we'll be posting something and we're like, this is awesome. I love this content. And then we're like, cool, that one did nothing. What did we do wrong? So it's not necessarily maybe when we did it wrong, it was just, maybe it wasn't the right time to post. Maybe something else happened on that same day. Maybe, whatever it is. So just note that like, not you, and it could just be the platform. Like 2 days ago, Google Business Profile kind of went down. So every post that we had going out this week for Google Business Profile, it's just not showing up. I don't know why.
Still down by
It's still down.
So it's
So if you look at any of the products or anything that I just mentioned, you may not see it. Like it's literally in every forum right now of why Google Business Profile things are not showing up. So it's every platform. And then, so just some key takeaways really quick is quality over quantity. I know I talked about it a lot, but consistency is important, and quality is way more than, quality is going to be way more important than quantity. Be consistent, create consistency by utilizing a content calendar or consistent social strategy. Be genuine. People really care that you are authentic in your storytelling. That is across the board. Again, anything that kind of trends on TikTok, it will happen on Instagram. So for TikTok to say that they're the storytelling platform and they want to create joy, all of a sudden Instagram is going to be the storytelling platform and they create joy. I'm kind of joking on that, but kind of like it's very much a trend setting. So just know that that's really important to your online community. Engagement is key. It's a two-way street, so don't just post content and walk away. Make sure that you're engaging with the people that are engaging with you and then other businesses locally. Again, help your local neighbor, help your local business, engage with what they're doing, engage, partner with them, but respond to comments, answer questions, and engagement is really what will drive. Not just, again, don't just post it, walk away, respond, and it will help. I can adjust. Make sure that you're looking at some of those back-end tracking results, what works best, adjust your strategy, and also recognize that sometimes it may flop, and that's okay too, and just adjusting and knowing that social media is changing on a regular basis. For a lot of information. Too much.
your favorite social platform.
Personally,
Yeah.
Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I technically have a Twitter. I don't have a TikTok. Yeah, so where I scroll.
There, a long time ago, set up like a sort of a parent company. Still, the best way to do it is a giant painted things and have a of the company.
Or are your locations super spread out? Like, are they within the
I
same?
mean, they're
area?
mostly in central, so it's Champagne balloons and
Have different services or anything different?
yes.
Offered at each
Some of
one?
them have plumbing, some have HVAC, some of them have showrooms, some of them don't.
And I would still say it's relevant.
Yeah. The only thing is if you're on Facebook and you and you create the location pages, sometimes you're gonna have issues. Like I would create them and then when you post on that main page, it'll trickle down to your location pages.
And I said at one time to not trickle down to a couple of them. Just,
Did it stop completely? Like it,
I think it still goes to like our plumbing ones or
And even from an SEO perspective,
things all the time. Like, I don't even know how I did this.
glitches to where we wanted it for some of our clients where we've created those location pages and we didn't want it to trickle because we wanted somebody to run that local page and give it that more local feel. And then we stopped getting everything trickling
Okay,
down.
yeah.
So even posts we wanted to be trickled down with.
Yeah.
So I would just be cognizant of that. If you do location pages, which are fine, they're really good for searching on Facebook, just wanted things to trickle down, they may not happen. You may have to manually do it on it.
On each one.
from an SEO perspective, it's really nice to have that.
And to still have those, yeah, with the addresses.
Is Twitter or X still like relevant or is it kind of fading or like, especially locally? Like I didn't use it in a while, but I feel like 5 years ago, I feel relevant.
Yeah, so it depends on the industry, 100%. It's still a great discovery. Thank you. It's still a great discovery tool for a lot of people. The ag industry is extremely next. There are certain industries where I'd say it's definitely say this some. What
Isn't that, but
Those ideas are real too, that focus on like where you're at. And once you kind of perfect that area, if you want to expand, then to start slowly doing that. Cause we also have seen times where people are like, I want to be here, 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 and here. And then now they're spread too thin. And that's good. Yeah.
Okay,
And
have quality.
exactly.
The other thing with Twitter is it is a little bit heavier pill. So is part of your core audience or core demographic they're trying to go for. One of the things I was going to mention is I did put a QR code at the back of the room. We have a monthly newsletter that we send out tips, tricks, information. So if you want to sign up for that, it's free. I mean, we're just going to send out an email every single month. And this coming month is actually all about rules. And it has all of those guidelines and everything in there. So if for some reason you're interested or just want some monthly go-to ideas, feel free to sign up.